Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today we're going to shoot old school. I'm still away on vacation with the fam and we're enjoying Canuck Place Children's Hospice. Just as a quick sample of what that looks like, we're talking delicious chili for lunch, homemade mac and cheese. I'm not talking craft dinner. Amazing daily made fresh cookies and and beautiful outings. Today we're going for ice cream in about half an hour, so it's going to be a shorter video. But I wanted to get you something because I am going to be away tomorrow on Saturday, which is, I'm taking a Sabbath day, which means I take a day of rest. Just be with family, disconnect from YouTube, disconnect from Twitter, don't touch any of it for the most part. But I'm definitely not recording, and therefore let's get in front of it and we'll do something here for you now. Something on my mind is Rift Watchers. I'm looking at the card prices. I spent an hour this morning buying probably $250, $280 worth of cards that are all Rift Watchers and then compiling them at higher levels. So I wanted to go through and look at the marketplace and just see what some of these price points are and talk what I'm seeing. Now, this by no means is going to be a conversation about what is going to be, I guess, the most expensive or the highest profitable cards. I don't feel capable of answering that question yet in terms of speculating on which cards are going to appreciate the most wildly, but I do feel firm and strong and confident that these Rift Watcher cards are below where they will end up one day. So that's a long time horizon conversation. That's, the 3, 4, 5 year window. I think these cards are amazing. I think they're very, I think this what do they call them, booster series or booster pack series Rift Watchers is actually very strong. So let's look at some of these cards. I'm going to talk to you about what I've done today. I'll show you some of on a different screen, I'll show you how I've compiled many of them today at higher levels. I would say right as of today, I have a gold or possibly a low diamond deck ready to rock for Rift Watchers. And I, like I say, I spent $300 just shy of today on some of these cards. So let's talk about that. Yeah, Lycan Beast is one that I didn't really invest in today, but I feel I like this card a lot, man. I like it a lot. I mean, remember, we've only got the 5 mana cost here. It's easy to say, it's whatever. It doesn't have heal, it doesn't have shield, it doesn't have but it's a 5 mana card. This thing hits like a truck with that enrage at the higher levels, and I play in that Diamond Champion, so 5 melee damage output. Over there, 5 melee damage output with the enrage is going up, I think, to 8. I think it's 8. Yeah, it is. And then the speed is going to go from 3 to 5. So it's fast. And it's got knockout also, which means that it's going to, if you're able to stun the recipient of whatever damage you're putting out, it's going to be very, very powerful. So I like this card a lot. And then I feel as though this price point is actually really affordable. This 5 cent, 4.5 cent. I didn't buy this one today, so I guess take it with a grain of salt, but I'm saying I like what this offers. It's just that I only had so much money and I didn't go here because I felt like some of the cards I'm going to talk about in a minute were just even that much more important. As much as I like this card, again, I almost love this card from the 5 mana perspective. If this thing was 4 mana, I would consider it must have. At the 5 mana, I'm considering it very strong for what it's capable of doing, but it's not going to be that main tank that you use in every situation. It's going to be a nice complement to an already full and well-balanced deck. So I like it, but I didn't buy it today. So 4.5 cents, again, that it's always a conversation about what do you like about it and the utility and the functionality, but then bringing to that conversation the cost that it would take to get that card, right? So if it would cost you $5 for a card like that, that really transforms the conversation. I would say for $5, $10, the Lycan Beast, you have to have it, but see, it's a common, so you're going to need 400 copies at 5 cents each. You're talking 5, 10, 15, it's $20. And that's really cheap. It's probably one of the cheaper cards. It's definitely one of the cheaper cards in Rift Watchers. It's one of the cheaper cards in the game right now. I'm going to say it's in the probably bottom 30 cheapest cards in the game. But it's a complement card, not a carry card, if you know what I mean. Carrying on. Lamel Refugee. This card, I initially, before the nerf, before launch, this thing looked crazy. The speed was wild. And I was saying, if you go back and watch those old videos, man, this card was the one that I thought was maybe the most important card, but that was pre-nerf, and it lost speed. So the highest speed it gets is Let's see that. The highest speed it gets is 4, and it has that in rage, so that will pop up to 6, I think, which is great. It's so great. But I think it was going to go up to 8, and with the blue team summoner, you would have had the backfire, right? So it was a really exciting card pre-nerf, and now it's just pretty meh, especially since it has no heal, it has no repair, it has a 7 mana cost. So for me, this is actually very low on the priority list. I merged my copies that I was able to accumulate from recent Riftwatchers pack openings on this one, and I got, I think, a level 6. So in that level 6 range, we're talking, it's got 8 hit points, 3 armor, 3 speed, 3 damage output. It's a complement card. It's a background. It's, you're glad you have it in certain situations, but it's by no means carry. And I didn't buy any copies today, and I wouldn't. 8 cents to me seems like probably the right price for what it can offer. It is properly, it can be a proper main tank, but it's by no means one of the better ones. It's trying to fill that niche, but you look at cards like Demon Shark and you think, no, I'd way rather have Demon Shark. There's no way I'm going Lemel Refugee over Demon Shark. Okay, Coastal Nymph. This card I bought some copies and I merged whatever I had, because this card to me looks awesome. Because of the affliction is always cool, but just look at this damage output, man. You're getting in that 4. I think I got it up to level 7 or 8, which means 4 damage output, 4 speed, 3 armor, and a good amount of hit points. Okay, as I re-review the stats here, I think to myself, strong, but again, archery, I think you probably know how I feel about archery. I mean, you can't count on it in that first position, and therefore I don't feel as though it can be classified as a carry. I don't know if I fully feel 11 cents is, like, if you, let's say you had a budget of $50, this wouldn't be where I'm looking. If you have a budget of $300, $400, $500, this is a card I want in my arsenal. Septic Slime is a card I really like, and I bought copies of it to get it up to the heal. I think it's got heal at level 6. Yes, the heal starts at level 6 right there. But unfortunately, it only has 8 hit points at that level, which is not enough to really make the heal significant. If you don't know this, for every 3 hit points that you have on your character, you're going to receive 1 heal point if you have a heal, or if your character is healed by a healer. And therefore, when you have 8 hit points standard, you're going to heal 2 hit points every time you heal, which is a little on the low side, or, it still matters, and I'm glad I have it. But I'm saying level 7 is like all that much better, because you get that 1 more hit point, and then it gets juicier at every level, right? You sort of get up in here with the True Strike, by the way. Yeah, so this is a card I really like, and this one I actually feel is a strong recommendation for everything. Like, this to me has a strong kit. It's a good main tank. It's slow, so it's going to be great in those first in the reverse rule sets, but it has True Strike, so it's True Strike, and therefore it's still playable in those normal speed settings. 11 cents is very reasonable. Yes, you're going to need 400 copies of it at the highest level, which is going to mean at $40, $45, because it's not going to be exactly 11 cents or 10 cents per. So $45, I think it's worth it. This card I want to get at max level, and I want to do so ASAP. But, every card that on this deck I think is amazing. So, strong. So I don't have a max Septic Slime yet, but we'll get there. Rune Crafter is another one. Anything that's neutral, you gotta love. The Fury is super important because there's more and more taunt monsters. Snare is nice because there is, I think, 1 or 2 taunt monsters that have flying. There's 2. There's Aggro Longtail, and there's the Death card. I forget its name right now, but there's a taunt monster on the Death team, which is like a flying cat or something like that. So anyways, there's two flying taunt monsters, and so Fury is great. You're going to double damage those taunters. This monster does double damage to targets with taunt, and then the Snare means that 100% accuracy on flyers. So strong card and neutral, right? So neutrality is it just opens up so many doors. I like this card. 11 cents for a strong archer. It's going to partner. Not only is it going to help you in the way I just described around the taunts, but I really like it for, again, when I'm looking to add value to one of the most overlooked summoners in the game, General Sloan from the white team. He is getting slept on still, and I'll say it over and over and over again until that thing is more money, man. I was looking at it today, I think it's like 80 cents per BCX. So General Sloan is a rare, so you need 115 copies of him. He's got to be the cheapest summoner right now, and I think that's true, but it might be, Quid Yuff or one other out there that's possibly cheaper. But I'm saying Sloan is sound, and cards like this are going to add to the utility of a General Sloan because it brings in neutral monsters that are going to add you even greater sort of looks and opportunities. So this one is a very strong buy to me at 11 cents, and I did buy some copies today. Time Meddler, I feel, is a little bit boring. I don't love this card because it just doesn't do enough damage. You can see at the max level it still does too. So, but it has it's got like nice tank vibes, right? It's got the return fire, the thorns. It's got armor and heals. It even has the dodge. So, there's context where that's going to come in play. It's not going to dodge your magic monsters unless you bring in that dragon summoner with the phase. But it's a strong card. It's just not. I wouldn't focus here. If I was looking for a magic monster, I wouldn't focus here if I was looking for a main tank, but it offers a little bit of either. So if you're on a budget and you wanted to kind of have another main tank or have another magic monster, it might fit that sort of niche need. But if you already have a well-built deck and you wanted to make some changes that were meaningful, this wouldn't be where I would be looking. Even though 13 cents to me seems very reasonable. Night Ghoul, I feel this card's a little underwhelming. Again, this was one of those cards that pre-nerf, it was pre-launch, it was better, and then it was nerfed. I forget exactly how, but the taunt is, it's great to have another taunt monster on the death team. I think they have one, two. I think they might have this one and that flyer that I mentioned earlier, I think. But it's got the armor, it's got the hit points. The force field is where I got it to today, so I got it up to level 6 on my own with my upgrades, and that's really, really pivotal. I'm gonna say, if you want it, you're gonna get it. You need to get it at the level 6 if you're gonna play at the higher levels. That's gonna just diminish. First of all, you're taunting, and so then you're gonna really diminish the impact of what's landing. But still, all things considered, I think this card is underwhelming. 16 cents for a main tank is interesting, but it's 11 mana, so I'm kind of a passer on it right now. Like I bought just a couple copies to get myself up to that level for the force field, but this one I'm pretty excited about for the same reasons I was about that archer a moment ago with the neutral, with the neutral splinter, right? It's a bit more expensive. This first one that's like getting into that, it's not expensive, but it's getting there because this is common. You need 400 copies. And at 10 cents, you're talking 400 copies, 40 bucks, 20 cents is 80 bucks. This is going to be in that like almost maybe $100 range by the time you buy all the copies you need. But maybe you don't need them all. Maybe you're willing to play at a lower level. For me, I wanted it way up to level 10, but I didn't get it there today. I just got it into this place with the repair over here at level 6. Obviously, the repair is so critical when you're looking at partnerships with Grandmaster Wraith and that white team. So this is a card, I think it's getting more expensive, but I think this is going to be a card that's going to carry you and really help you in. It's an amazing support tank, and it'll fit in so many builds, but it works with Wraith, and Wraith is amazing. It works with cards like Aggro Longtail, who's a dragon taunt monster and is amazing. So I feel like this fits into like armor niche, taunt niche, which are like often really meta, right? So I feel like this is going to carry, and it's going to fit in the modern frame and the modern rank battle league for a long time to come. So to me, this is a long-term amazing investment, and I think it's an amazing card. For 25 cents, again, in that $100 range, it's kind of expensive, but it does a lot. Bramble Pixie, again, strong card, really want it, bought some copies today, couldn't afford enough of them, to be honest. I would love to have this up there in that max level range where you're getting 5 damage output, 4 speed, 10 hit points, and it's got that heal as of level 6. I think I got mine to level 6, which means I need 300 more copies. So I mean, but that's no joke, man. Like I say, you're in that, I need probably $80 worth or more of this card, and you will move the needle when you start to come in here. Look, there's only 300 copies. That's one of the things about this I hope you're taking away, is not just that these cards are, you know, what does Dwayne think about these cards? You have your own opinions, but I'm trying to, I guess, describe my own walk through how I'm recognizing the value and the price point and when I'm taking bites, but today I did. And then also, you know, recognize that there's just not a lot of these cards, man. There's only 314 BCX of this thing available, or I mean, I think that means 314 cards, because some of them will be higher level, like right here. This one is a max level. But I mean, still, if you imagine there's only 300 copies of this card on the marketplace, even if some of them are max level, as that one is, you know, one person that wanted to spend, who liked this card a lot and wanted to spend, let's say, $200 on it, you're going to move the needle really easily. The price of the BCX is going to go from 24 cents to 30 cents real quick on the same page. And that's the thing with these Riftwatcher cards. I don't want to speculate on where these things are going to land, but some of these cards, like Bramble Pixie, to me strikes me as absolute must-have. Same with the Junker. Those are the first two so far, maybe, that I feel fall into that category. Rune Crab, probably Septic Slime also. Yeah, those are the only 3 right now that I'm feeling are must-have that I've showed. Whelp Herder is definitely a must-have because of Dragon, because of 3 mana, because it's going to be used in so many rule sets, because it does 3 damage at the highest levels. Opportunity, Snare, Dispel. This thing seems to me to be, like, just, I consider it mandatory. Like, full stop mandatory. It's going to be in that $100 range for a max copy, though. So I'm willing to take it slow. I didn't get to max copy today. I think mine is at, I think I got level 5, 60 BCX, or maybe it was level 6, 100 BCX. So I got a long ways to go. But I will. Dumac is another one. I think it probably is must-have, but it depends if you even play white. So if you like the white team, and I think the white team is obviously strong, you look at Grandmaster Wraith and how he's impacted the meta, there's this amazing sneak play to have there with the Silver Shield Assassin. If you have some old school cards, you're talking about that Feral Spirit, you throw in maybe some neutral sneakers, and suddenly you've got a crazy 4-5 sneak team, and with one main tank on the front maybe. But this one's great because it's got sneak, it's got fury, so it's going to hit those taunt monsters all the harder. But here's the problem: 25 cents per BCX on this thing, or you could go buy a Feral Spirit for probably the same price, which is one of the fastest, best, and most amazing sneak attack monsters in the game. But again, Riftwatcher is going to fit you in that Modern League for longer. So if you're worried about Modern League and you want to be a competitor in the Modern League for the months and months to come, this card to me, if you already are on the Grandmaster Wraith bandwagon, I think Dumac is a must-have. For me, I'm sleeping on him a bit. I'm taking my time. Arachne Thug I bought a while back. I think this card's amazing. I have a max copy. The second position reach, the trample, it's got knockout down here, so it hits like a truck, dude. The only weakness is his number of hit points, but you're in that second position, so I like it a lot. 6 mana, really affordable. 30 cents, getting expensive, right? But again, $120 for a max card. Most of you are never going to get these cards. That's the thing. Most people watching a video like this, you probably aren't going to end up with a max Riftwatcher deck. But man, there's quality in here. I'm going to try and pick up the pace a little because we're only now starting the rares and we're already 15 minutes in. Sweetie over here, I like to call him, I find him very underwhelming. But I bought a max copy because it's rare, because it's the cheapest of the rares, and because it has a decent amount of damage output, 3 times the 3 with the recharge plus the giant killer in certain contexts. But I almost don't prefer it in that context. I actually will love to play this in the context of Back to Basics, where your monsters lose their abilities. It's a 3 mana plus Obsidian, 4 magic damage, with I think 8, 9, 10 hit points, something like that. So it's a strong card, and it's, like I say, it's the cheapest of the rares. This one too, I think you guys are kind of sleeping on it. Technoblizologist, Stun, Fury, Camouflage. So today I went out of my way and bought a max copy on this one. Camouflage, dude. I actually didn't know this thing had camouflage. To have a camouflaged stunner with the Fury back there dropping 3 damage output. Again, Fury doubling that up. I think, to me, for 30 cents times 100, $30, and I didn't need 100 copies. I already had 60 or something, so I bought 50 copies of this today, I think. To me, that's a very strong card. Ash Mirage is another amazing card, and I think it's more than worth the price because it fits so well within the fire archery niche and what it does. Plus, we have the new rule set where only archers can be used, so you got the headwind, so that becomes really helpful. Reflection Shield is increasingly important because there's a lot of summoners and there's situations where archery damage will come back at you. So I think this card's absolutely awesome. I don't have a max copy. I didn't buy a max copy. I don't play a lot of fire archery, so I just kind of overlook this for now. Like I say, you can't buy everything. I can't buy everything. I can only afford what I can afford. Watercolor is another card I love, and I wish I could get more of. The Stun, the Reflection Shield. I think I'd stopped at level 5 with the Reflection Shield, but man, I want to get it up to that level, that last level with that 3rd damage output. But you know, now we're in the 50-cent range times 115 cards. So again, I mean, I guess it's cheaper, you know, and it actually is cheaper than some of those comments, to be honest, because of how many more BCX you need of the comments. I got to skip through a bunch of this, guys. I'm going to give you the Cole's notes. The wifey's calling me. So Watercolor, love it. Need to have it. 47 cents to me just seems Scavo. Again, 50-cent range. Not as powerful, but the fact that it's neutral, that's the key here. Cable List, I wish I could say I bought it, but at the 62-cent range, I didn't, and it's not because I don't love it. It's got that amplified giant kill. Demoralize would be so huge because the death team does demoralize really well. So get it, I think, for that, especially for that price. Uloth was another. I looked at this today. This got me going. I saw Triage on here with level 5, and I thought, there's a taunt with the slip spawn, and this is one more Triage with a ton of damage out plus a stun. 4 or 5 damage output on the archery, so yes, I got it. Plus it matches so well with the Fernheart because the archery. Sea Stalker, another amazing with the cleanse, the amplify, this camouflage. What a great card. Rune Slinger, it was one I bought more copies of, even though it's $1 because it has the affliction, the stun. I love the kit. The cripple, I got it up to level 7 with the cripple. Amazing card. Quickly, oh my goodness, Runic Skyclaw is absolutely amazing. Reflection Shield, crazy speed, massive snipe damage. Corsair Boson, absolutely must have if you use the white team, period, full stop. I like all the summoners, I'm buying them slowly. What other, last notes, final notes. I think that's maybe it. No, the legendaries. I guess the legendaries, I'll just say I love them all. I want them all. They're not quite maxed. But guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I hope you're not sleeping on Rift Watchers. Let me know on what you think for these price points. Are they going to go lower as we get more of these packets opened? Or are you feeling like now's the time to start filling the bags a little bit? I just find I need the utility. I want to separate myself. I want that long-term Modern League kind of foot in the door. So that's where I'm at. Guys, have an amazing day. God bless.